everybody, and welcome to Uncle Dave's Brigade. Today is Friday, so it's British Invasion Friday, and I got the Kinks. You really got me. Now, the way I do it, if you're new here, is I don't stop the video once it's started. I have trivia, background stories, a little bit of information about the song or the artist or both. So I've got the official audio of this particular one. We'll be just looking at the group in a minute. But while I pull it up, I need you to hit like, subscribe, post notification bell, and listen real carefully to that famous riff. Okay? I'll tell you how he got that sound. It's not the traditional way. It's unusual as to how he came up with that sound. So let's go for it.
Girl, you really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me. See, don't ever set me free. I always wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me. See, don't ever set me free. I always wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me.
Classic song, I tell you, from the 60s. It's one of the big hits of that era. The song was inspired, or the sound was inspired by the Kingsman, Louie Louie. Ray Davies, lead singer and leader of the group, he wanted the song to sound somewhere along that lines. And and prior to that, they were a little bit more just simple R&B type music. But he wanted harder edge songs, and so he was playing around with the guitar and actually came up with the melody or the riff on the piano. His brother Dave did, and then they transferred it to the guitar. And so they had the riff going, they had it working. But he, in a kind of a strange fit of anger, um, I'll tell you the story. He found out that he'd gotten his girlfriend pregnant, and his parents. He was still young. His parents and did not want him and the young lady to get married, and he was very frustrated about that. He took a razor blade, and he was just upset. He was in his room, and he sliced the amp home where the sound actually comes out, and he sliced it, in the middle of it out of just anger and frustration. He was going to take it out on something, so he took it out on that. I used to break pencils, but anyway, that's what he did. And then later on, when he was playing it, he was playing that song with the broken home. That distortion sound came out. The amp still produced music, but it had that little distortion sound. You got to remember now, this was back in 1964. The equipment then was so different. It didn't have distortion capabilities in the guitars and the amps and all that. It didn't have that. So he was the first to produce a hit with a distorted sound to it, but it was done in a totally different manner. They use distortion today and later on. And it caught. I mean, it sounded great. It sounded gritty. It sounded a little bit rough, and that's what he wanted. He wanted that type of sound. But that was their really big hit. They had quite a few. They had 5 top 10 singles in the U.S., 17 in the U.K., and 50 million albums worldwide at least. I mean, got inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1990. Uh, Biggest hit years were from 66 to 72. And so, didn't have a huge period of time there, even though they continued to work until 97. Um, their bigger years were concentrated in that later 60s, early 70s period of time. And the brothers, Ray and Dave, were constant in the band, but they had a lot of change ups in the bands over the years. And then I think they eventually just went their separate ways in 97. But he got the inspiration from the song with just watching a particular girl dance in the club. He never met the girl, but he was watching her dance and he was just fascinated. She was real pretty, had shoulder length hair, and he was, he just infatuated and he loved her way of dancing. And she got to him. And so he kind of, it took that, that, and you really got me. But he never met her, never talked to her, and never went up to her and introduced himself or anything like that. He just was infatuated with her. And so he took that and then came up with he and his brother came up with the melody and the riff, and there you go. You got a million seller huge hit, and they had had a couple of minor hits before, mostly doing covers, and they were about to be dropped from their record label until this hit came along. Then once it came along, it really put them on the map, and went on to do Lola and many other hits, which we will get to later on. That's a little bit about them and about the song. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, subscribe, post notification bell if you would please. Keep old Uncle Dave on the air. I've reached a milestone, got my first 500 subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Trying to reach that 1,000. So keep at it. I appreciate every single one of you. I really do. And thanks for dropping by, and be nice to each other and be nice to yourself out there. Don't forget to do that. Thanks. Bye.